Welcome to the Yoga for Cancer class. My name is Michelle Ryan and I've been working with MCI since 2017. I've taught at survivorship classes and programs, I've taught yoga classes here at MCI, and I've taught at the retreats at Camp Grace. I have a special oncology yoga certification and I've been honored to share this with the patients and caregivers at MCI since then. I'll take you through the class. I'll demo all of the movements that we do in the class, and we will use the chair, either seated in the chair, standing behind the chair, or next to the chair as an assist. So during the class, you're welcome to practice with your shoes on or off. So my personal preference is just to practice with shoes off because that's what I'm used to doing, but do whatever matches your comfort level. During the class, if anything feels painful, you're welcome not to do it. You're welcome to sit and breathe and watch and observe, so that can be just as much of a learning process as participating in the class. I do try to give different options so that you do feel successful no matter what. So let's go ahead and get started. Sit far enough forward in your chair that your feet are flat on the floor and you're sitting up nice and tall. So don't necessarily lean against the back of the chair so your core stays engaged. And then I would invite you to close your eyes. And then just take a moment to notice how it feels to breathe. So breathing is something that happens all day long without our thinking about it, thank goodness. But it's really nice when we can slow down and focus on the breath. So without changing the depth or the quality or length of your breath, just notice how it feels to breathe. So maybe you notice the lift of the chest on the inhale, and on the exhale, your connection to the chair, or your connection of your feet to the floor or the earth. And as you breathe, notice if you can soften your shoulders, if you're holding tension in your jaw, or you're pressing your tongue against the roof of your mouth. So these are really easy ways, common ways that we hold on to tension in our bodies. So if you create space there, you can allow the breath to fill that space, or maybe you can just relax into that space. And then now you're welcome to lengthen your breath if that feels appropriate for you. So if you're feeling kind of short of breath today, you don't have to do this. But if you feel you have the space available to do that, you can make the breath or the exhale a little bit longer than the inhale. So what this does is activates the body's natural relaxation response. It's a nice way to prepare yourself to go to sleep at night, so taking longer or extended exhale breaths if you have trouble sleeping. And then allow yourself some time for the breath to return to its normal pace. So it doesn't have to be right away. You don't have to rush to do this. So slowly and gradually allow your breath to return to what you feel is the normal pace. And when that's happened, you can blink your eyes open. So we'll continue with some stretches in the upper back, neck, and shoulders. So sitting up nice and tall, you can relax your chin down toward your chest, but don't collapse the body. Keep the chest lifted. So the chin down toward the chest, any amount, and we're going to bring the right ear toward the right shoulder. Look up toward the ceiling. You don't have to drop the head all the way back. Left ear toward left shoulder, and then chin down. So you can move through these forms at your own pace. So I would encourage you not to move too quickly, but this gives you time to kind of connect to if there's a place that you need to hold the stretch a little bit longer, you have the opportunity to do that. And then the next time you come back to the center, you can move in the opposite direction. And then the next time you come back to the center, you can just lift your head up. So next we'll move into the shoulders. Bring the shoulders up, back, down, and forward. So your goal is to work into whatever range of motion that you have in the shoulders. So it can be a larger movement, a smaller movement. And again, you don't have to move through this too quickly. And then you can move in the opposite direction just so we target all of the muscles, all of the ranges of motion that we possibly can. And then when that stretch feels complete, stop in the middle. Take your right hand and place it on your left shoulder, still sitting up nice and tall. Take your gaze away from your hand, so looking toward the right shoulder. And so what this does is creates a gentle twist through the upper body, improving your digestion and helping relieve anxiety if that's an issue or concern for you. So it doesn't have to be the deepest twist that you possibly can make. And then inhale, bring your head back to center and place the right hand down. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. Place the left hand on the right shoulder and turn and look away from your hand. So you don't necessarily have to match the range of motion from the other side. So just work with what your body allows you to do. And then bring your head back to center and place the left hand down. So next we'll move through a series of postures where we work through all 5 movements of the spine. On your inhale, you can bring your arms overhead. The arms could be straight if that doesn't feel great in the shoulders. You can also bring the arms down at a 90-degree angle or possibly rest the fingertips on the shoulders. So as you inhale, lift your chest, so lift out of the low back. Look up toward the ceiling, so you're coming into a little bit of a backward bend, but not too much. Inhale back to center. Exhale, place the right hand down on the side of the chair. Inhale, look up toward the ceiling, and then exhale, reach the left arm up and over. So the arm could be straight, you could keep the fingers on the shoulders, or you could bring the fingertips behind the earlobe. Inhale back to center. Bring the right arm up, left hand down, inhale again, and then exhale, reach up and over. So as you stretch to the side, look up toward the ceiling so the body doesn't collapse forward. And then inhale back to center, arms could be straight or you could keep the arms bent. Inhale again, exhale, twist to the right. You could rest the elbow on the back of the chair or place the right hand on the side of the chair and use the left hand as leverage to support the twist. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center, and then bring the arms down. So we're going to move through that several more times. Next, inhale, arms overhead. Inhale, chest up, look up toward the ceiling. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, stretch up, and exhale, reach up and over, looking up toward the ceiling. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, stretch, and then exhale, reach over to the left. Inhale, bring the arms back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, arms back to center. And exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, arms back to center. And then exhale, arms down. Again, inhale, arms up. Inhale, chest up, and exhale, or inhale, slowly look toward the wall behind you or just up toward the ceiling. Inhale back to center, right hand down. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, stretch. Inhale back to center. Left hand down, right arm up. Inhale, reach up and over. Inhale back to center. Back to center. Inhale and then exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, arms to center. And exhale, twist to the left. So we'll go through that one more time. Inhale, arms back to center, and then arms down. So the last time, inhale, reach the arms up, arms straight, or cactus the arms. Inhale, lift your chest, look up toward the ceiling. So any amount, doesn't have to be a deep backward bend. Inhale back to center, right hand down. Inhale, Reach the left arm up, exhale, stretch over to the right. Inhale back to center. Left hand down, right arm extends up. Exhale, reach up and over. Inhale, arms back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, arms to center. And then exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, arms to center. Bring the arms down, and this time you can rest the forearms on the thighs and relax your head. So if you've got some back pain, I would say keep the back flat. You don't have to relax the head too much. If that's not a concern, you can round the body forward. You could even reach the hands toward the feet or the floor. But if you prefer the support, you can keep the forearms here. So this just gives you an opportunity to slow down and check in with your breath. And if you're reaching your hands toward the floor, walk your hands or your forearms back to your thighs and pause there, taking a few breaths. And then walk yourself back up to seated. So we'll move into some postures, working into the upper body. Next, this one is particularly good for lymphedema. So again, you could reach the arm straight up toward the ceiling, or you could bend the arm at 90 degrees. So we're gonna start at the wrist, and you can either slide the hand down the arm and then around the center of the chest. You could also squeeze the arm gently and then trace that line to the center of your chest. So what you're doing here is encouraging the movement of lymphatic fluid, which needs help either from deep breathing or cardiovascular work. So again, at your own pace, don't feel like you have to keep up with my pace here, at your own pace. And then let's do this 2 more times. So again, you could slide, or you could gently squeeze down the arm. And then one last time. And then bring the right arm down. So anytime we do a posture and you feel like you need to take a counter stretch, you're welcome to do that. Even if I don't offer it, please feel free to take that if needed. We'll do the same thing on the left side. So left arm might be straight on this side if it wasn't on the other. Don't feel like it has to match exactly. You can also bend the arm at 90 degrees. And again, starting at the wrist, we're either just gonna slide the hand down and around. You could gently squeeze. And again, it doesn't have to be a really hard squeeze, so it can be a really light squeeze. All you're doing is encouraging the movement of fluid in the body. And then 2 more times, either slide the hand down, so whichever one feels best for you. And then one last time, gently squeeze or slide the hand down. And then still sitting up nice and tall, let's move from left to right. So we're moving toward the right side of the body. The same thing, we're just going to encourage the movement of lymphatic fluid. So we're going to rub the belly toward the right in a circle. You could use both hands. If you wanted to, you could use a single hand. And again, this does not have to be a hard press on the belly. So we do this a few times. And then take both hands and then draw the fingers up toward the chest. And then at the chest, you just want to tap there. So what you're doing here is encouraging the development of your natural cancer-fighting cells. And again, this does not have to be a really hard tap. And then you can relax your arms down. So if neuropathy is something that you're experiencing as a side effect of chemotherapy or radiation, this next posture will help. So there's also some things that we could do on the feet, but since we're sitting in the chair, we'll work on the hands right now. Spread the hands as wide as you possibly can. So imagine creating as much space on the palm. You might even feel that stretch on the palms. And then slowly pull the fingers in. So not quite like you're making a fist, maybe a little more work than that. Spread the fingers wide and then slowly pull the fingers in. So you're actively working each bend of the fingers, I guess that's what you would call that. Stretch the palms and then exhale, slowly pull the palms in. So go slow here. There's not too many times probably that we stretch our hands out like this, and same thing with the feet once we get to that. Once we're standing, spread the fingers wide and then slowly pull the fingers in. Let's do that one more time. So again, biggest stretch and then slowly pull the fingers in. So after that, you can stretch the fingers out anyway, wiggle the fingers. I guess you're not supposed to pop your knuckles, but if that felt good, I guess you could do that too. Now let's extend the right leg forward in front of you. So here, if the hamstrings are tight, don't worry about the leg being perfectly straight. If there's a bend in the knee, that's fine. But you do want to flex the foot. So you want to sit up nice and tall to start. The back is flat, and we're just going to fold forward any amount. So again, if the back is sensitive today, keep the back flat. If that's not a concern, you could relax the head down. And you might feel that deepens the stretch, but that's not always the goal. So just notice how you're breathing when you come into this position. So with our stretch, you don't want to push as far as you can and hold your breath. And then slowly walk yourself back up, and we'll switch the leg. So left leg straight, flex the foot. And again, if there's a bend in the knee, that's fine. That keeps the hamstrings relaxed so you can stretch them. And then fold forward again. So again, back flat is an option. Relax the head is an option. So wherever you are, keep the foot flexed as much as possible. That keeps the muscles active. And then watch your breath. And then slowly walk yourself back up. But this time we're going to keep both legs straight. And we're starting at the bottom, as close to the ankles as you can reach, and slide the hands back up. Or you could squeeze just like you did on the arms. So this is another way to address lymphedema. So it can be a gentle squeeze up, or it can be sliding the hands up. And it's always a bottom to top movement, so you don't start back and forth. It's always from the ankles up. And then when that stretch feels complete, we're going to make our way to a standing position. And I'll turn the chair so you can see. Is that good? You can edit that part out. All right, so standing behind the chair, you can place your hands on the back of the chair, or you can rest your forearms on the back of the chair and walk your feet back. So maybe the body is eventually a 90-degree angle. If high blood pressure is a concern for you, don't let the head come below the heart. You can keep it slightly above. And here you could bend the knees. You could separate the feet a little bit wider. And just relax your body here as much as possible, or as much as you feel comfortable doing. So you might feel a stretch across the upper back, the shoulders. And then from here, rest your right or left hand on the chair. It can also be the left forearm. And let your right arm hang toward the floor. So imagine just letting the arm hang toward the floor, letting it get as long as possible. And then you can add some movement to this. And when you move the arm, imagine the movement happening from the shoulder. So not necessarily the fingers. And then you can reverse the direction. And when that stretch feels complete, stop in the middle. On your next inhale, you can reach the right arm up any amount. And on the exhale, reach the right arm toward the left arm, possibly underneath it. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, reach through. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach through. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach through. And then 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. Let the arm hang toward the floor again. You can add some movement if that feels appropriate. Or you can just let the arm hang. And then we're going to switch. So place the right hand on the back of the chair. It could also be the right forearm. Extend the left arm toward the floor and just let it hang toward the floor. You can move the hand again. So again, imagine the movement happening from the shoulder. And then you can reverse the direction. And then let the arm be still. Next, inhale, sweep the left arm up any amount, and then exhale, reach the left arm through or toward the right arm. So here we're just working on range of motion in the upper body. So if you've had a surgery there, this could help restore some range of motion for you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach through. And then 1 more time, inhale and exhale. Let the arm hang again toward the floor. And then you can place both hands on the back of the chair and walk yourself up to a standing position. So I mentioned neuropathy in the hands, and we addressed that with an exercise, but here you could also do the same thing on the feet. So ideally there's one where you get all the way on the floor, but I'll just demo the one where you're using the chair. And it's best if you don't wear your shoes for this. So we're just going to come up high on the toes, and you can use the chair to support you, but I would encourage you not to put all of your weight on the chair. So we're just going to come up high on the toes and then lower the heels back down toward the floor. And we can repeat this several times. High on the toes and heels down. So same thing with the hands. You're stretching the bottoms of your feet, which doesn't usually happen sometimes because we wear shoes all the time. High on the toes and then heels down. And then let's do that 1 more time, high on the toes. So you could hold the stretch a little bit longer to stretch the feet. And again, it's to your comfort level how long you would hold. And then lower the heels back down. So next up, we'll do some chair squats. So this is really good if you experience incontinence after treatment. The toes and heels don't have to touch. The feet could be slightly wider apart. And we're gonna sit the hips down almost like we're sitting in a chair. So if you would imagine there's a chair behind you, we're gonna sit down, and you can place your hands on the chair for support, or you can do this without the support of the chair. So we're going to inhale down and notice that you're not backward bending. The natural curve of the low back would be fine. Inhale down and then exhale, stand. And as you stand, inhale, you're pressing through the heels, and imagine zipping up the thighs all the way to the top. Inhale down, exhale, stand. Good. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. And the last one we'll sit and hold. So again, this would be to your comfort level, how long you want to push yourself to hold this. You have the chair for support, but without resting all of your weight on the chair. And then stand. So we're going to use the chair again to go through a flow of several exercises. Bring the hips back down in the chair, and we're going to step the right foot back. And again, you can use your hands on the chair. You could lift both arms up. So I'm going to walk you through just one at a time. It could be right arm up or left arm up, and then it could be right arm up, or you could keep one or both hands on the chair. Next, you can bring the left hand back to the chair, spin the right heel down, and you could sit lower in your lunge to work on stretching out the hips. It doesn't have to be a really deep stretch. And you could lift the right arm up. You could lift the left arm up. You could do some more lymphatic work here by bringing the arm or the hand across the arm, across the chest, and extend out. So hands forward, and again, just lymphatic brushing, reaching across the body and out. We'll do that one more time. And reach out. Good. Place both hands on the back of the chair, come back onto the ball of the back foot, bend the front knee, and step the foot forward back to chair, and then you can stand all the way up. So we'll do the same flow on the other side. Back to your chair pose, hips down, step the left foot back. So here you could also bend the back knee any amount. If that allowed you to feel more stable, with or without the hands on the chair. And again, you could lift the right arm up, you could lift the left arm up. If you prefer, you could keep both hands down or one hand down. So now we're gonna spin the back heel down onto the floor. And again, you can keep the right hand on the chair, the arms up. We can add the lymphatic brushing again. So left hand toward the right, and just brush the fingers across the body and out. So back, the hands don't exactly have to touch either. And reach the arms out. And then one more time, hands forward, and then reach out. Bring the hands back to the chair, come back onto the ball of the back foot, bend the back knee down and step forward back to your chair, and then stand all the way up. So next we're gonna move into some balance work. So you can stand to the right side of the chair. And again, you've got the chair for support, but try not to lean all of your body weight onto the chair. The left leg is going to be straight and active, so make sure you're not hyperextending or pressing the leg all the way back. And here we're gonna lift the right leg up. So what you could do, if this does not feel appropriate for you, maybe you've got some knee pain, knee replacement, you could balance one foot and then just the toes touching on the floor. And again, you've got the chair to support you, but ideally you might be here with the leg at a 90-degree angle. So what this helps in your body is to build more bone density. So if you've had chemotherapy or radiation, that can deplete your bone density. This can help rebuild it. So again, just holding this balance. And again, you can test yourself without the chair, holding onto the chair if you need to. And then we're just gonna bring the right leg down, point the toes forward. So we're just gonna move the leg around in a semicircle and make sure the body doesn't move or as little as possible. So you don't have to lean back or forward to get more range of motion in the leg. That's not the intention. So the intention is just to work through the network of muscles in the body. And then when you feel this stretch is complete, you can bring the right foot down, and we're gonna step to the other side of the chair. So again, right hand on the chair, right leg is strong, lift the left leg up. And again, make the adjustments if you need to. Again, option to not hold onto the chair or very, very light touch. So as you do this, you wanna flex the foot if possible. That's gonna help activate the hamstrings of both legs. And again, it's nice to set a single point of focus, preferably on something that is not moving, which would not be me if you're watching this. So nothing movable. Set your single point of focus on that. And then just hold your balance. And then you can bring the left leg down, and the same thing, point the toes forward, and we're just gonna move in a semicircle. It doesn't have to be fast. Again, you don't have to bend the body in any sort of way. And if it bothers you to flex the foot, you don't have to flex the foot too much. And then when you feel this stretch is complete, let's stop in the middle. We're gonna come back to the back of the chair, but I think you'll be able to see me from this because I'm not bending forward. We're gonna bring the arms up and over the head. So this is gonna help with some cardiovascular work. We're gonna inhale, bring the arms up halfway, and then exhale all the way overhead, and then inhale halfway down, and exhale all the way down. So notice you're not swinging the arms, inhale up, Exhale, press the palms toward each other. They don't have to touch. Inhale, lower. And then press the palms toward the legs. They don't have to touch either. Inhale, lift, lift, lower, lower. Lift, lift, lower, lower. Let's do that one more time. Lift, lift, and then lower, lower. You can take another stretch behind the chair, so the same one that we started with. If you like any other stretch that feels appropriate in your body, we're going to come back to the chair and sit down, so you have a moment if needed to take a stretch to regain your breath. Just connect to that again. So we'll work again into the upper body, into the arms, the shoulders. So again, if you've had a surgery here, this would be a nice way to restore some of that range of motion. So we've got the arms up, 90-degree angles. These are called cactus claps. We're gonna bring the elbows and the palms toward each other. So don't feel like they have to exactly touch. And we're gonna inhale, open. Exhale, press the elbows and palms toward each other. Again, if this is what you're working with, that's perfectly fine. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. Good. You can relax the arms down. You can take any stretch, rolling out the shoulders, any stretch that feels appropriate, something that I'm not even suggesting, you're welcome to do. So as we start to slow down and come toward the end of the class, just ask that you take a moment or two just to sit in stillness again. So we're going to end the class with a breathing exercise. So you're welcome to close the eyes if you like. And then take a moment just to reconnect to the breath you established at the beginning. So I know during the class there's all kinds of breathing cues that you're asked to follow. But it's nice just to sit with the breath again. You're welcome to take deeper breaths if that feels appropriate in your body. And then when you feel your breath has returned to its normal pace, this is called a 5-finger breath. We're going to do this on both hands. So you can start whichever hand works for you, but we're going to start, you can hold the hand up. We're going to start the bottom, the outside of the thumb. So as you inhale, trace up the thumb and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down, and don't feel like you have to rush to keep up with my pace. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. When that side is complete, just move to the other hand. And again, no rush. Inhale, trace up. Exhale, down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So again, you could just pause for a moment, take some time to reconnect to your breath. So usually that breathing exercise kind of calms things down. And so I always end the class by reading this poem, and you're welcome to sit with your eyes closed or open, whatever works for you. So this poem is from the book called Yoga for Cancer by Tari Prinster, who happens to be the person that I did the oncology yoga training with. And one of the things that I love that she says is yoga, as cancer takes your breath away and yoga helps give it back. So I think you could probably all remember the time that you first learned about a cancer diagnosis and maybe how you felt. And then I think that's so powerful to think that yoga can give your breath back. But this poem is from that book, Yoga for Cancer. Life is an opportunity, benefit from it. Life is beauty, admire it. Life is a dream, realize it. Life is a challenge, meet it. Life is a duty, complete it. Life is a game, play it. Life is a promise, fulfill it. Life is sorrow, overcome it. Life is a song, sing it. Life is a struggle, accept it. Life is a tragedy, confront it. Life is an adventure, dare it. Life is luck, make it. Life is too precious, do not destroy it. Life is life, fight for it. So before we close, I'd like to again bring your awareness back to your breath. And you're welcome to close your eyes. Again, sit up nice and tall so your feet are flat on the floor. And let's just take 3 breaths to close out our practice. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more, inhale and exhale. Thank you all for joining me today. If you have any questions, please let me know.